everybody. Good afternoon, it's Jean here from Truelove Quilts for You, Jean Truelove. I'm just sitting on my deck, listening to the birds. No tutorial today. I am working on my block party, my Jean's Block Party 2021. And I'll talk about that, but no tutorial. I have to tell you what happened. I've had a few videos, as you knew. I was taking a bit of a break about 2 weeks ago, and I had done a few videos that I've put up since. But during my break, I had a break. No. About 10 days ago, I fell and hurt myself real bad. What happened was I was getting into the bath, in our master bath, and was not his fault whatsoever. And I've really tried to play it down here on the home front. In fact, Maxwell's not here, but Maxwell sort of burst into the bedroom, not my bathroom, and sort of yelled something. He was excited, and I was so startled. I was getting into the bathtub, but I was so startled so quickly that my left foot went out from under the rug, out from underneath me, back to the left. And fortunately we have grab bars on each side of the tub and inside the tub. I grabbed the grab bar, but not before I pitched forward and smashed my shin, my right shin, against the outside of the bathtub. And in the process, I twisted and I pulled my groin muscle, and my back hurt, and my hip twisted, and I fell. I really fell. Oh man, I smashed my shin. In fact, I thought it was broken. I thought I broke my shin, and then I do have arthritis in my lower back. An x-ray showed that. So my back's a little bit jacked up anyway, but I twisted everything. And as I said, I tried to play it down because I screamed in pain, laying on the floor. I'm old, I can't do this. And dear Maxwell, I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Oh, I got up, and that was about 10 days ago. And I've been hobbling ever since. Mind you, it's getting better. It's getting better. I've been resting, ice, lots of ice, ibuprofen. I'm gently stretching. I'm gently stretching. I have arnica oil, which is very, very good for bruises. I immediately put that on. And in nighttime, actually, I have a heating pad on my back. So I'm getting comfort, and I am getting better. I am feeling a bit better. But the resting and the ice, in fact, the other day I just went to bed. The pain is exhausting. As you know, quite a few of you have been experiencing, terrible health problems, or whatever you're going through. So I'm joining you, pathetic people. Oh my word. I was hobbling, and of course my range of motion, because what is it with the groin strain, which will heal, but it like, you're all tensed up. So like, I'm all tensed here. I'm all in fact, I couldn't even be bothered. I look a mess. I couldn't be bothered to. I thought I'll put on a necklace and put on some makeup. And the muscles pull your lower back, and I'm like, my steps are like this big. So anyway, and it was funny. We have a chiropractor. He just moved to Florida, so I think I'll be okay. But as we're getting older, we're not healing quite as quickly. But yeah, dear Maxwell, he was all wide-eyed, like, I'm so sorry, and I'm like, it's okay. So that's been my little springtime. So I really am just taking it easy. I'm quite exhausted, actually. I had to go out to the post office, and I had to do a small shop. Ian and Maxwell, and even our kids have been doing shops for me, just to pick some stuff up. But so that's that. So I'm hurting. I'll get better. I am going to be. I have not been in my sewing room. Ugh. I am going to be working on my my chair. Stupid chair. I'm okay. I'm okay. Just sit and listen to the birds. I am going to be working on the block party. The last video I put up was the flying geese border, and I just did what I did, and I haven't done any more. Like I said, I had filmed that a little bit ago, and I think the next video, though, I'm going to start putting my quilt together. It's not the size that I had thought it was going to be, and I am going to continue growing it. But because it's a medallion quilt, I'm going to start with the Dresden plate, and I'm actually going to figure out the size of the borders. Everybody's saying, oh, what size of the borders? What size of the board? What size of sashing? I tell you, I don't know that, but now I got to figure it out. And I was thinking, I shouldn't have made this a tutorial. I should have made this a look over my shoulder and sort of copy what I'm doing, because I'm not quite sure. If it was just me doing it, I'd just sort of slice and dice. But you guys, you got to know measurements and stuff. I got to figure that out when I'm feeling a little bit better. I can't be bothered. But I did have the adrenaline last night. I was running on adrenaline. Just something I want to tell you. We went out, Ian and I went out with a couple of our children and their wives. Being treated to a lovely dinner in a beautiful restaurant about 20 minutes away. And an old, I think it was like an old coaching house. Here in Pennsylvania, we have these old properties. Remember I was telling you on the corners? This one is like... This one is like 1790 or something, and turned into a restaurant. And we were treated by a couple of our kids to a dinner, a lovely dinner, beautiful, beautiful dinner. One of the first times we've been out Ian and I, to a restaurant. Of course masked, but then really, really nice drinks and really a lovely time with the kids. For our 40th wedding anniversary. Ian and I have been married 40 years on May the 1st. 40 years, wow, it's a long time. 40 years, 3 countries, 10 kids, 16 grandkids. I said, I put on Instagram, we have our ups and we've had our downs. We may not have it all together, but together we have it all. I like that expression. Yeah, 40 years married to Ian, and Ian married to me. It's not been very easy. As people who've, you know, been married or are married can attest to, we've had our ups and downs. Mainly I always say because Ian and I, we don't speak the same language. I speak American and Ian speaks English. And being an Englishman, I lived in the country and Ian lived in the city. We are culturally much different, and he's almost a decade older than me, and we didn't really have a lot in common. But flippin' heck, we made it work 10 kids later, and boy do we have some tales to tell. And what a good man he is. 40 years. So yeah, we had that to celebrate. So we got flowers and some presents and gifts and cards. Some of our kids were actually down in North Carolina. There's a big house down there. So they couldn't come, but a couple of our kids took us out to dinner, and it was just so lovely. And Ian and I spent the day together. Max was like, you go out, have a date. That was nice. So we had a lovely time, thinking and laughing and talking about our last 40 years together. Oh my word. Oh my word. Anyway, that was that, and it was so funny. Jen hadn't realized it last week. She actually knocked on the door, and I see my friend Jen. I see her, and as you know, our Jen, I see her on Zoom, and we text all the time. But I haven't been in her company for the last year, almost year and a half, only a few times, but she knocked on the door with a cake. It was before our anniversary. Here, Jen, before I was teaching Jen to quilt. Now she's like off like a rocket, quilting, making quilts left, right, and center. She was a baker, not in a bakery, like home. And actually she makes the most beautiful, I think they're like pound cakes, pound of this, pound of that, pound of, I don't know. I don't bake, but her cakes are so good and mouth-watering and not too sweet, but just delicious. Ian loves them, and Maxwell can't get enough. So, and I think that she's actually made 3 or 4 of our kids' wedding cakes. Awesome. She's incredible. So, Maxwell last week had said, oh, would Auntie Jen make me a cake? I said, well, ask her, you know, it's your thing, you ask her, and offered to pay, obviously. And so he shot her a text. She said it was so sweet. He's like, I have money, I'll pay you. Well, of course, she knocked on the door with a mask on, but she came in, and obviously she's not going to charge him. And I looked at her cake, and her cakes are beautiful. But I looked at this cake, it was lovely. And it had, it was her regular pound cake, but it had like a blue, pale blue, sort of like a smear of icing. It was very pretty. And here she said she had blue icing, and she went to write to Maxwell, and she got MAXW, and she ran out of icing. And she said, oh my goodness, I knew I couldn't take away just the W to Max, because his name is Maxwell. And he'll tell you, my name is Maxwell. So she just smeared the icing. I'm like, oh, that's why I saw it was just a smeared mess. It was so funny. And so Maxwell's like, that doesn't look like a true Auntie Jane cake. It was delicious. But I told him, and we had a laugh. He's like, oh, thank you so much. And Ian loves her cakes. It was such a treat, really nice. Oh, I'm in pain. Oh, sitting down, sleeping. Oh, anyway, it was just so funny about that Maxwell's name. It was talking about names. We have a son we have 10 kids, as you know. We have a son whose name is Jean-Pierre. How old is Jean-Pierre? 30, I don't know, 31 or something. He has a wife and a kid and a child. And his name is Jean-Pierre. He was Jean-Pierre, Jean-Pierre. Well, we were teaching him, we did all of the children before they go to school, how to write their name. And it's a long name, but that's his name, Jean-Pierre. And he went to school, and for the first few days of school, he came home with a lovely little picture. I think I have it still. And it was a real sweet picture that he brought home to Mom and Dad. And it was the wrong, he must have picked up somebody else's picture because it said John on it. You know, this kid signed the name John, J-O-H-N. And I said, oh, it's such a sweet picture, but you obviously got mixed up with one of your classmates. And he said, oh no, actually, he goes, Mommy, he goes, the teacher said, my name is too long, it's hard to pronounce, and it's very hard to write. So she's just gonna call me John, and she wants me to write John. Yeah. I said, oh, did she? So that was a very quick phone call and a visit. I said, excuse me. His classmates know to call him Jean-Pierre. His family know to call him Jean-Pierre. He answers to Jean-Pierre. He knows his name is spelled J-E-A-N-P-I-E-R-R-E. Miss Teacher you're going to teach him how to write Jean-Pierre and how to say his name. Okay? Can you imagine? We're going to call you John. It's too hard. Yeah. He learned how to spell his name real quick, but it's so funny. Oh, like, oh, this brat. Fast forward about 17 years. He was out in the pool or something at our old house, playing with a bunch of his friends. And all of a sudden I hear, I'm in the house, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, JP, JP, JP. I'm like, who the heck? I don't know a friend named JP. I know all of his friends. And I go out, and Jean-Pierre got real ready. He's like, shut up, shut up. My mom's here. And I'm like, what did they just call you? Here, he wants to be cool. He's telling all of his friends, hey, call me JP. I'm like, and I said to his friends, I'm like, his name is Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre, get it? It's not JP. I really tore into him. Their name is Jean-Pierre. Well, since he's a grown man, I occasionally hear even his wife, hey, JP, and I look at her. Oh, Jean-Pierre. It's so funny, our kids' names. No, our other son's name is Francois. We have all these French names. I ran out of American names, right? We have Francois. Francois was like, Mom, if I had $1 time, everybody mispronounced my name, I'd be a millionaire. I'm like, oh, sorry. He said Francois, Francois, Francois. I said, what? You don't, Francois, Francois. Don't they know it? He goes, and he won't shorten it, obviously. He's not going to be Frank. And his wife loves his name, Francois Truelove. It's just so funny. It's so funny. Anyway, that's that. Jen came. That was so lovely. Once everything, and maybe soon she'll be able to be in my sewing room, if I'm in my sewing room, if I can walk. Oh, just sitting down. Sitting down hurts, and laying down, oh, it was just really killing me. It was really killing me. But it'll get better. It'll get better. But as we get older, I'm not healing quite as quick. But the arnica oil, we've always used that on all of the kids' bumps and bruises. It's really very, very good. Like I said, our chiropractor, he moved. So I don't know. I'll see how I'm going. The nighttime, I have a heating pad on. That's really, I think I said that. That's really quite comforting on my hip. And yeah, it's okay. But like I say, my range of motion, I'm making these little mincing steps. I just went to the store. I felt like a cripple, but I'll get better. So yeah, that's my Jen. That's my health. Everything's okay. Ian's fine. Oh, Maxwell is going on his trip. It's coming up in a few days. I had made that video a couple weeks ago. He's going on a quadding trip. I think now with like 6 or 7 of his brothers. I think they're all going. They all are scrambling to buy quads. 5 of them have quads, but last night I think Niles and Francois were like, oh, we've got to get a quad, we want to go. What they're doing is there's a place, and don't quote me on this, I heard it somewhere in the wind, a place in West Virginia. It's called the Hatfield McCoy Trails. What it is miles, apparently, miles and miles and miles in the middle of nowhere of these biking and quadding trails, four-wheeling trails through the countryside, woods, whatever. But apparently quite a few of them go behind people's homes or through their property, you know, like back there through the property. And you know, you're thinking, oh, you know, have a bunch of quads and four-wheelers and guys ripping up your property. But they're very well maintained, apparently, and the homeowners, apparently again, don't quote me on this, but like the Tourist Board of West Virginia, pay them to maintain the trails or something. And because it's a real good tourist industry that people like my kids are going. They stay in little cabins, and there's not a lot to do down there, but this is a big thing. So a lot of the four-wheelers and Jeeps and everything and quads, this is a big thing for them. So Maxwell's all excited. He's all ready now. I don't know. I did not have the time because I was out of commission for a little while to get his waterproof case for my GoPro, because he wants to take my GoPro, which I don't really mind because I don't love it, but I don't want it to get smashed. So, and apparently it has a lens on the front that if it breaks, the camera's done. So you need the case. or the shock-proof case or something. So we'll have to sort that out in the next few days if he takes it. But if he does, he'll get some footage, hopefully, him and his brothers. And I was saying to the boys last night who were going, please look after him. They're like, they have wives and children and family of their own. They're like, of course we will. But all of the boys wanted to jump on the bandwagon, so it seems like a Truelove thing with a few other friends mixed in who have their quads. So it'll be nice. Maxwell's really, he's nervous. He's never really been away from us, but you know, he needs to go. But I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'll miss him. It's for 4 or 5 days. And yeah, he's looking forward to it. So that's coming up. That's that. My quilt I'm going to start trying to put together for you folks who are following me. I don't know what I'll do after that. What do I do after I make that quilt? I'll have to figure something out. Do something. Yeah. It's lovely out here. We had some tremendous high winds. Oh, I will take a picture. I'm sitting on the deck. It's an old deck. It's like 40 years old, right? And out of the, right here and right there, I'll take a picture of it, are 2 trees that they built the deck around. I don't know. And then they cut about 12 foot up. They cut the tree, not my son who owns this home, the previous homeowners, they cut the tree to about 12 foot. Just cut it off. So it's like a big trunk, okay? It's fine. It's lovely. The deck's around it. And then there's one here. They just cut they just cut it off at the top, 12 foot. Well, this one, and I'll take a picture, regenerated. It's regenerated the branches, right? The other day, I was just at my the little sitting room in my sewing room, and I heard a mighty crash. The one branch in the high wind crashed onto the deck. I'm like, I'm underneath them now, but it's real still. The weather's been crazy. We've had some nutso weather. We have some tall trees around here. Ian had gotten a huge, great big chainsaw, and he was out cutting some trees down and cutting some rounds off them. Oh, if you remember, we had the last autumn time, I did a video about my boys helping us cut the wood up. Maxwell's on the tractor and everything. Our log splitter broke. And we were a bit sick about it, like, oh boy, we have our wood stove and we need our log splitter. Well, Elliot came, our one son Elliot came, and he actually mended the log splitter. It was awesome. So they've been out, you know, chopping down trees, chopping up into small rounds, and splitting the logs. Maxwell's and Ian is doing that. Jordan came along and was like, oh wow, you know. So yeah, it's all happening. So that. The weather is beautiful right now. It's been crazy. The other day, I mean, it's May. It felt like snow. It was freezing with a bitter chill wind. And then in the afternoon, it was like 80 degrees. No, I'm not exaggerating. It was crazy. It's quite warm now, actually. But still, at least it's not that wind. Oh, that was horrific. Absolutely horrific. It's frightening here. I mean, we love it, but we don't have too many trees. Well, that one probably would take out the house. Yeah, that's about 120 foot high. But they're pretty stable. The ash trees around in this area, and it's not just our property. So many trees in this area are dangerous. The earth is crying as well as the humans. It's been a rough year, a rough few years. But it's nice and green. The birds are singing. I have 4 little bird houses right here on my back, on the railing. And it was interesting. I had bought a little, I'll take a picture of it. I bought a little wooden birdhouse, about 15 years ago when we lived at our other house. And I had them hanging on my porch at the other house. Well, he's probably angry with me because I'm here. When we moved, I bought my birdhouses, of course, and Ian has attached them to the railing. Well, we have all 4 have little tiny birds with nests in them, because that happened every year at our other house. We would see the little eggs and then the little birds and feeding. It was so nice, and so we have them right here now. It's really sweet. So these birds are waiting for me to go in. So I just wanted to say hello. Everything's good. Jen sends her love. Maxwell's good. Well, hopefully his trip will go well. Ian's good. my husband of 40 years. Go figure, 40 years, wow. And yeah, we had a lovely time. We had a real nice time. So hopefully when things start opening up, we'll be doing a little bit more diverse, whatever, with the family, and I'll be videoing. But for now, I'm just gonna set my mind to heal. My leg, there's the geese. It's so lovely, yeah, very pretty. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to check in and say hello. I hope you're all keeping well, keeping safe, and yeah, love from the Trueloves. All right, have a good one, folks. Bye. So here is the tree growing out of our deck. There's the other one. And this one, as you can see, regrew its branches, and right up there, you can't really see it, right up there, an almighty crash the other day. That branch came down. It doesn't look like a lot, but boy, it was a big branch, went way, way, way over there. So, yeah, these two, they look like chimney stacks in the middle of our deck. And here are my little bird houses. Right now I've scared them away, but this end one is the one I've had forever. I've had these for about 6 or 7 years. But yeah, they all have nests in them. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. Yeah, they all have nests. And the little birdies come. And there. Sweet. Lovely. Yeah, Ian has been cutting trees, cutting the path down. He was cutting, as you can see, some trees. And my red furniture's gone from the wind. Yeah, there's the farm. So he's cutting that path through the woods there. Yeah, it's greening up. It's greening up a bit. And yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, this is this tree. That one's just flat right off. But this one here, like, it's regrown. There you go.